On March 14, 2003, 17-year-old Hannah Foster left home to spend time with her friend Helene. A few hours later, they said goodbye at the bus stop. From that moment on, Hannah was never heard from again. But thanks to the quick work of the British police, they managed to discover a very strange call to the emergency services, which eventually helped to solve the case. Hannah Claire Foster was born on August 31, 1985 in England. She lived with her parents Hilary and Trevor and younger sister Sarah in Southampton. Hannah was a model student and always strived to get the highest grades in her senior year of high school. She was preparing to enter medical university, and since childhood the girl clearly knew what she wanted to study. Her family always supported her in achieving all her goals. On March 14, 2003, 17-year-old Hannah decided to take a break from her long studies and go for a walk with her friend Helene. The girls went for a snack and a drink at a well-known local bar. At 10:40 p.m., they decided to go home. A surveillance camera recorded them walking together down a nearby street. According to Helen's friend, they reached the bus stop and started waiting for the shuttle bus that was supposed to take her home. Hannah, in turn, decided to walk, as it was about 1 kilometer to her house, and she thought it was not a very long distance to walk. Then the bus arrived, the friends said goodbye, and that was the last time they saw each other. Hours passed, and Hannah still hadn't come home. At 5 a.m. on March 15th, her parents began to worry. It was unusual for her to come home so late, and if she stayed over at a friend's house, she made sure to let them know. They called and texted her, but there was no response, although Hannah's phone was still on at that time. Several hours passed, and at 10:30 a.m., Hilary and Trevor decided to go to the police. They had already spoken to Helene, and she had told them everything that had happened. They also called Hannah's other friends to see if they had seen her that night, but none of them knew where the girl was. When Hilary and Trevor arrived at the police station, because Hannah was a minor, her 18th birthday was still a few months away, and because her behavior was unusual for her, the officers decided to start looking for her immediately. As is always the case in such cases, the person who last saw the missing person is considered a person of interest. In this case, it was Hannah's friend, Helene. She was interviewed by the police in the presence of her parents. Helene was very adamant in her testimony. She told the police what she had already told Hannah's parents, and the CCTV cameras outside the bar and bus stop confirmed her story. Helene had never told a single lie and was therefore no longer of interest to the investigation. Now that the police knew she had nothing to do with Hannah's disappearance, they had to start looking elsewhere. Luckily for the investigators, the girl's cell phone was still on at the time. It was on all night and all through the early morning. During this time, she received calls from her parents,